Hey guys, so it looks like we do have a Legends information announced. This is a little bit of a strange scheduling thing here, so I'll just quickly talk about what's going on. So first of all, the post here on social media, new info reveal, Legends information is coming on the 10th, which is a day later than it typically is because that is Wednesday. Don't miss details on supporters and new character info, and then it has the links here. Now, I guess number one interesting thing is if we go over to the actual in-game news, there is no Legends information announced in-game, as far as I can see here. I mean, I checked the actual app as well. This is just like the all-purpose thing that they do every time now, where it's like, oh, we have a English mobile game YouTube channel. Like, that's not the actual announcement for the Legends information. So there, as of right now, as I'm recording this video, there actually is no Legends information announced in-game. It's just been announced on social media. I'm thinking the reason why they've done this is because typically what happens with the Legends information announcements in the actual game, for websites like this that can data mine the news a bit early, we actually can see before it's officially announced when the Legends information is going to be. So this might be a way for them to get around that and not have us know early when the Legends information is coming, which I don't think makes a ton of sense because who cares, right? Who like if we know a day early that Legends information is coming, it doesn't really matter. But I found that to be a little bit interesting. And the other interesting thing is this is on the 10th, which is reset day. So technically, the Legends information is happening after weekly reset happens. Now, why is this the case? Well, if you scroll up a little bit more, they made a separate post saying, new character reveal, a new Legends limited character from Dragon Ball GT is joining the fight on 9/12. Catch the reveal on 9/10 during Legends information. So head over to our trusty calendar. Let me actually zoom in a little bit here. So right now it is the 2nd. That is a Sunday. Sorry, the 7th. That is a Sunday. And the characters supposed to come out on the 12th, so we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days until the reveal, or sorry, until the release of the character. The character's being revealed on Wednesday the 10th and being released on Friday the 12th. Typical scheduling would have the character revealed on the 9th and then released on the 10th. So it is a little bit more spread out than normal. The question is, why are they doing this? I don't know for sure, okay? I don't know for sure, but my gut tells me the reason why they're doing this is because they're going to have the character release here, and then I think then what will happen is the next release will be here. I think that's why they're doing it. If the release would have been on the 24th, I think they would have dropped the character here. That would have been a standard 2-week gap in between, two major releases during the same month. September has always kind of been a weird month because the last day of the month always falls on like a Tuesday or a Monday or something like that. Like last year, can I pull this up easily? If I go to 2024, if we go to last year, the 30th was a Monday. So Turles, Ultra Turles, I believe, actually ended up dropping on the 30th, I believe. So I think they're doing the same thing with this year in September. Okay, get away from me. I think they're trying to line up whatever the second release of the month is going to be. I think they're trying to line it up with it being here, Tuesday the 30th. So that's why they're, kind of artificially prolonging the release of this first release of the month to the 12th instead of the 10th. That's why I think they're doing this. We'll see. The GT campaign ends up finishing on the 24th. I mean, I'm not gonna go through this again, but every single we can go. I guess we could open up the GT celebration thing, but essentially every single campaign and event goes away on the 24th, basically. Let's see if we can find some of the stuff here. So we have the exchange shop goes away on the 24th. We have the Metal Rildo event goes away on the 24th. The raid goes away before that, but what will happen is this raid will end on the 17th. And what I expect will probably happen is we'll have one more raid that goes from here, the 17th to the 24th, and there'll be another 1-week raid that will go away on the 24th, I would imagine. These ticket summons go away on the 24th. This PvP the PvP seasons have just been out of whack for months now, and it's just because of Super Vegeto's Platinum Equipment release. Co-op season goes away on the 24th. We have, this is not relevant really. Anything else? And then we have the adventures that go away on the 24th. So yeah, basically everything that is related to the GT celebration goes away on the 24th. So what I think will happen on the 24th, at least what it's looking like, is we'll probably end up getting the start of the next campaign, the next celebration, whatever it ends up being. We'll probably end up getting a free character here. And then I think we'll probably get either an LF. I mean, I want to give it like an 80% chance that this is an LF here. It's possible. It could be an Ultra. It's possible. It is possible. I don't want to rule it out, but I think what's going to happen is we're probably going to get 2 Ultras in between Anniversary and Fest, right? We already had Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta as one, so that leaves one more Ultra left between the celebrations. Either it's the end of this month, or it's the end of October. It's one of those 2 slots. I think it's going to be end of October, just because 2 months in a row with an Ultra, less likely, I think, than them spreading it out an extra month. So I'm going to give this 30th here, is whatever the next celebration is going to be. I think the first LF will be here. But it could also be an Ultra. I don't know, the schedule's been kind of weird this year, right? They've done things where, because you know why, there's 2 culprits here. There is the fact that Super Vegito's Platinum equipment dropped right after the anniversary. That kind of pushed the PvP seasons into being not lined up with new character releases. But even a bigger issue than that has been the Lineage of Evil celebration only lasting for 3 weeks, because then it pushed the first release of this GT celebration, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, to come out at the end of August. And now we're coming to the end of September, and it looks like we're probably going to be getting the first release of whatever the next campaign is going to be at the end of September here. So that's not really what we typically see with these monthly celebrations, but it's just kind of how things have lined up because of the LOE campaign only being for 3 weeks. So that's what I think is happening with the schedule here. So again, 10th is going to be the reveal, and then the release is going to be on the 12th, and then I would imagine basically everything from here all the way until here is just going to be like filler content, and then the 30th will be the next release. Okay, so now in terms of who it could actually be, let me just pull up the we now know for a fact, I mean, duh, it was going to be a GT character, but now that they've said officially that it's going to be a GT character, we can pull up the GT tag here. To me, there really aren't that many possibilities here, and the reason why I say this is because only a year ago they buffed a lot of GT. Like, they gave us a lot of GT characters, and can I zoom in? Thank you. It's not going to be Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, right? I mean, it's not. Probably not going to be Omega Shenron. It's probably not going to be Super 17. It's probably not going to be Super Mewtwo. It's almost definitely not going to be another, Universal Spirit Bomb Goku. It's like, what else is there in GT that's hype? And it's not going to be Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I mean, could you imagine just like randomly in the randomly, and like I would consider September to probably be. Man, is September the most dead month of the year for Legends? Not this year, because this year we're getting supporters, but it really usually is. Like, what is the deadest month of the year? It's probably either September or February. It's one of those 2 months. Like, in the middle of September, would they just drop like an LF Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta? I highly doubt it. The big glaring omission from the roster for GT here, in terms of recent characters, is Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Now, there's technically 2 different versions of Super Saiyan 4 Goku that we could get here. We could get the one from the Baby Saga, or we could get the one from the Shadow Dragon Saga. Technically, they could also do one that fought Super 17. I don't think they would. I mean, I guess it's possible, right? That's like the self-destruct Super Saiyan 4 Goku, which I don't actually think that attack is in any game. Right, where Goku essentially just decides to like basically like a final explosion, Super Saiyan 4 Goku. That doesn't really exist in any game. But again, I've mentioned this many times. A very big glaring omission from the game has been a Dragon Fist full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku that he does against Omega Shenron. Right, we have the one he does against Ice Shenron, which is this yellow Super Saiyan 4 Goku, but we don't have the full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku Dragon Fist that he does against Omega Shenron. Not in the game at all. Not even any iteration of that in the game. So that, to me, would be a really good pick for an LF character. I've seen a lot of people pointing out, okay, yeah, we could get maybe like an Oob who maybe like exchanges into full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku from the Baby Saga. I think it's possible, but the reason why I'm less high on that pick is because, to me, it's very obvious that when we do get Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Goku, it is undoubtedly going to be Super Saiyan 4 Goku from the Baby Saga, and his art is almost 100% going to be the iconic pose of him kind of like standing on the rock with like 1 foot up on the rock. That's like almost 100% sure what the Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Goku is going to be. And if you really look at all the Ultras we have in the game right now, that is like the biggest omission in terms of like the mega hype characters. It really is Super Saiyan, GT Super Saiyan. Well, I mean, we could loop in Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku there, but I'm not going to say like, oh my god, I can't believe we don't have Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku as an Ultra yet, because we're not at that point yet, right? But with GT Super Saiyan 4 Goku, we certainly are. To me, it's him and Full Power Broly from Dragon Ball Super Broly. Those are the two like huge glaring Ultra omissions from the game, and we have to be getting GT Super Saiyan 4 Goku as an Ultra soon. And if that happens, it's going to be from the Baby Saga. So that's why I'm a little bit less high on getting a LF Super Saiyan 4 Goku from the Baby Saga. So if I had to pick a version of Super Saiyan 4 Goku we get as an LF, I would go with the Goku who fought Omega Shenron. Some other picks we could see for the LF here. I've seen some people throw out LF Oob, maybe like a transforming Oob into Majub or something, like a reviving Oob who revives into Majub. I'm not completely opposed to it. To me, like if we actually get an LF Oob, that would be like bottom of the barrel. I mean, that you look at like every LF character we've ever gotten, that would be like the least hyped character probably ever. But it doesn't mean it's not possible. It could happen. Another pick I think is possible is basically a new version of this Goku, this base form Goku that fights Super 17, and it probably would end up being a Goku and Android 18, GT Android 18 tag character. We actually don't even have a GT Android 18 in the game. Her model doesn't even exist. So that could be an interesting character. I mean, again, it's probably a little bit less up there on the hype meter. Something else we could get as well, I mean, if they really want to do villains, they could do a transforming Sin Shenron into Omega Shenron. They could do a transforming Super Baby 1 into Super Baby 2, right? Super Baby 1 also does not exist in the game at all. But yeah, those are basically the picks that I have. I guess a Synchro... Like, theoretically, they could do a Synchro Gauge Android 17 and Hellfighter 17 into Super 17, but it's like, if they are actually going to be dropping a Synchro Gauge character that's LF Super 17 in September, we gotta start asking questions like, okay, why wasn't Kefla Synchro Gauge? Okay, why wasn't, Fusion Zamasu Synchro Gauge? Like, if they actually drop a Synchro Gauge Super 17, I got questions, okay? So I don't think it's gonna be that, but I guess it's on the table at least. And that's really it. I think my money would be on Shadow Dragon Saga Full Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku does the Dragon Fist. I think potentially a Transforming Baby's on the table. I think a Super 17 Saga base Goku and Android 18 tag characters on the table. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. To me, there's not really many other options we could see here for an LF from GT, unless they really want to start, again, scraping the bottom of the barrel with like, ooh, they could do, I guess, dude, LF Pan, nobody would care, all right? But trust me, nobody would care. But is it completely off the table? Not really. I don't know. Again, it could also be like a reviving Super Saiyan 3 Goku or something into Super Saiyan 4 Goku from the Baby Saga, but that exact version of Super Saiyan 4 Goku is who we should expect to get as an Ultra soon. So I don't want to put too many eggs in that basket, but that's really what I'm expecting out of potential LF here. So there's that. And then, of course, we also do have supporters who are also coming out. Now, the interesting thing about supporters is we do know that at least one of the supporters is going to be Dende. Now, Dende has nothing to do with the GT team. Dende is not a GT character. I mean, there's a GT version of Dende, but the Dende that they showed was from Namek. So what I think is going to happen here, again, they mentioned that there's going to be 6 supporter slots in your support deck. So they're hopefully at least going to release 6 supporters this Friday as part of the banner, because they said that supporters are going to be released alongside new LFs on their banner. So whoever comes out on Friday, I mean, I guess this could give more credence to maybe the character not being super hyped. Maybe it's going to be an Oob, but then they also drop like some like ridiculously overpowered supporters on the Oob banner to incentivize people to summon, I guess. But there's probably going to be Dende and then 5 others at least. I would expect maybe one, at least one, maybe two, maybe even three of those supporters to be related to GT, just because they're releasing during the GT campaign. So I'm probably going to put these guys on the thumbnail, but like a perfect example of a supporter that potentially we could see for GT is like the Para Para brothers, right? Because there's no way they could get those guys into the game as fighters, because they don't actually fight. So the best way to get them into the game and get them representation is have them as supporters. I think they actually just put them in as sleeves too, by the way. So it's possible we can get them. We could get characters like a Giru could be a supporter. We could get characters like Dr. Mew, right? Dr. Mew doesn't actually fight, but Dr. Mew is a significant character in GT. We could get him as a supporter. We could get GT Bulma as a supporter, right? We just got Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Obviously, Bulma is the one who enables Vegeta essentially to go Super Saiyan 4 with the Blutz waves. So maybe Bulma could be like a huge buffer to Super Saiyan 4, as if Vegeta needs help, but like Bulma could be like a huge buffer to Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta or something like that. So there's a lot of characters from GT that we could see potentially as supporters. And I think like when you take a look at all the series, honestly, it's like between Dragon Ball, OG Dragon Ball, and Dragon Ball GT, where it's kind of like I could definitely see a lot of these side characters make their way into the game as supporters, because GT, most of the series is essentially just Goku by himself soloing everything, right? We have, of course, scenes where like Pan is fighting, GT Trunks is fighting, and then like, later as we get into the Shadow Dragon saga with the Omega fight, of course, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta comes into the fray. But essentially from the time when Goku starts fighting Rildo all the way until the Omega fight, like that entire huge like 75 to 80% chunk of GT is basically just Goku by himself handling everything. And the reason why that's significant for the supporter function is because it leaves all these side characters to potentially fill the role as a supporter character. GT Hercule, GT Bulma, Giru, Para Para brothers, Legic, what is that guy's name? Like Donkey or something? Just so many like side characters in GT that they could just throw into the game as supporters. And I do feel the same way about OG Dragon Ball as well. So we will see what the supporters end up looking like here, but in terms of the LF picks, again, that's what I think is probably most likely. And just to reiterate again before we end, the reveal will not be Tuesday like it typically is. Well, I guess technically, yeah, for us now, because I got to like flip my schedule around because now I'm in the U.S. In the U.S., the reveal would typically be Tuesday morning. So now instead of it being Tuesday morning, it's going to be Wednesday morning. And instead of the character releasing typically like they do on Tuesday night, it's going to be Friday morning, I think. Actually, no, it should be Thursday night, actually, I believe. Let me quickly take a look here. It says 9/12. A new character is joining the fight on 9/12. No, you know what it's going to be? It's going to be reset it's going to be, what, 2 a.m. Eastern time on Friday is what it's going to be. That's what the reset time is, Eastern time. It's 2 a.m. Yeah, so the character will be revealed Wednesday morning, and they'll release 2 a.m. Eastern time on Friday. So that is what we are working with here this week. Supporters coming, LF character coming. Let me know what you guys think about potential picks for the LF and supporters. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the next one.